Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Coach's Corner East. I am your host, Mike Sparks, and we're at Galion High School tonight for the first edition of Coach's Corner East in 2023. So glad that you could join us. Our show brought to you in part by the Burkhart family at the Burkhart Farm Center, your Case IH dealer straight west of Galion on the Manette, New Winchester Road. Mike Kleinite at Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Mount Gilead, and Marion. Sweet Baby Ray Jones and Kendra Weaver at Ohio Door and Sash, 120 South Street in Galion. Mark Osborne at E-Crane International, Route 598 on the north edge of Galion. A little later in tonight's program, it'll be the girls basketball program. Carson Early from Galion High School will be talking about some recent games, and prior to that, Ryan Stover and the boys basketball team will be here to review how things went during their pre-Christmas and Christmas break. And for the first time this year, we're blessed to have Brent, Tyrell, and the wrestling program at Galion, a very successful wrestling program, here on our set tonight. And Coach Tyrell, thanks so much for coming out and bringing a couple guys. I'm excited to talk a little wrestling. So remind me again how many years that you've been the wrestling coach here now.
This is my 14th year as a head coach, but I've been with the program for 22 years now. So
that's incredible, and you don't look that old to me. I mean, to be around that long, you'd have to be pretty young when you start. How young were you?
I started when I was 21, maybe 21.
Fantastic,
so, yeah.
Fantastic. And when I always talk to coaches for the first time in a given year, you know, each season is unique because you lose seniors and then you bring new freshmen in. As a coach, and especially a coach that's coached as long as you have, does that still get the juices going when open mats start or conditioning starts? It's like, wow, a full new crop. Yeah, some of the guys are returning, but we got new guys coming in too.
Well, with the guys we have right now, we wrestle pretty much year round. We do a little bit in the spring. We do a little bit, or we do a lot in the spring. We do a little bit in the summer. Some guys continue to wrestle in the fall. I mean, we have some kids right now that really like wrestling, so it's been a blessing to have kids like that just want to wrestle all the time, which is a hard thing to do, and it's fun to see them do it. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
For sure. Total numbers 9 through 12 this year on the program.
9 through 12, we have 23 guys on the team. So
okay. Is that pretty average for here?
It's average. I mean, we've had as high as 30, but we never finish with what we start with. So. I mean, I think we started with 26, 27. Now we're down to 23. I think we'll finish with the guys we have.
Okay, very good. Talk about some of the top returners that are back from last year's team and weight classes, and maybe also what weight classes you see as strongest. Is it the lower weight, the middle weights, or more of the heavier weights?
Well, so we have a returning state placer who hasn't wrestled yet this year. He's just getting over an injury. He'll be back next week. Landon Campbell. He's wrestled 215. He's took 6th place last year at state. At
that weight?
At 190, the weight class below.
Okay.
So he's at 215 now. We have a returning two-time state qualifier, Alex Griffith, who is heavyweight. So he's having a good year. Aiden Reyes is a returning state alternate, so he placed 5th at districts last year. We have Broden Butcher, who got banged up at districts, so only wrestled one match and then couldn't continue. So we don't know what he could have done last year with been healthy. We have 6 returning district qualifiers. So I mean, we have a good solid group of kids. We brought in we have 3 or 4 really good freshmen that came in. As Grady, who's wrestled on the national scene the last couple of years in middle school. So
wow.
And then Ryder Alberti's another freshman that came in and is wrestling well. We have a couple other seniors, Ryder McCabe. And we would have his brother. His brother passed away this fall, so we're missing him. We lost a couple kids to move. We had 2 district qualifiers that moved to Florida right after football season, so we're missing those guys as well. But we have a really great group of kids, and I mean, I know I'm leaving some kids out, but I mean, I'll try to get them in here as we go. I mean, I love all these kids; they're great kids. So
when you have a situation like Mr. Campbell that goes up a weight class, do you think that's beneficial? I mean, does that help them, or is it really just depending on the individual?
It just depends on how they grow. I mean, he started at 152 as a freshman. Last year, wrestled 190. This year, he's at 215. He's just continuing to grow, get bigger. Good athlete. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as you're able to handle the weight. I mean,
so it's not necessarily he's trying to get that. It's just the way his body's grown the muscle mass that he's put on, from, obviously from football and things like that, that's just kind of where he's naturally settling in?
That's where he's settling in, yeah. I mean, he's about 215 pounds, so I mean, he's right where he needs to be, so.
Good. I was reading when the season was just getting ready to start, and it was an article talking about the MOAC. And one could argue that the wrestling within the MOAC is some of the best around in North Central Ohio. I'm sure none of you would dispute that when you look at, be it River Valley, be it Ontario, whomever. Talk about that a little bit and where you kind of see the Galion Tigers fitting into the MOAC race.
Last year we finished fourth. It was a tight race from fourth to first place. I don't know how many points separated us. I can't remember, maybe 40 points total. I thought we could win the league last year. We just didn't get it done that weekend. The next weekend we wrestled really well and we beat the league champions by like 30 points. So I mean, it is what it's week to week, how you perform and what you do. This year I think we're capable of winning an MOAC championship as well. But I mean, Ontario's still there; they're still strong.
Right.
You got Marion Pleasant, who's strong. We got Highland, who's good. I mean, Clear Fork's back to being pretty good as well. I mean, Marion Harding has some good kids. River Valley has some good kids. I mean, the whole league as a whole is a lot of fun to be in. It's that tournament's a lot of fun. We've had it at home the last 4 years too as well, so it's been fun. I mean, we could finish anywhere from first to fourth. I mean, same thing as last year.
Yeah, right.
So we just got to be ready to perform and everybody healthy and the right weight classes, and I think we'll be all right.
So I know coaches, you ask them, well, what would you like? Would you like this, this, and that? And they, of course, it's kind of that Willy Wonka, Veruca Salt mentality. We want it all and we want it right now, right? Kind of mentality. You guys may not understand that, but old guys like me understand that. But would you rather have a conference championship and maybe not perform as well in the tournament, or would you rather send a bunch of guys to state, maybe at the expense of losing a conference tournament?
We want them both.
Exactly what I said. Yeah, sure.
But, I mean, realistically, we can do both.
Okay.
I mean, I think we have a group of kids that we can get like 6 kids to state, which would double the number that we've only sent 3 to state at one time at Galion in history. So I think we have possibility of sending 6 kids to state, maybe more, and I mean that'd be super exciting, super exciting. But we got to handle business. We got to handle business league week. We got to handle business sectionals week. We got to be ready to go district week. It doesn't. I mean, there's no easy weeks at the end of the year. You have to be ready to rock. You have to be ready. I mean, full health. I mean, and on your game plan and focused. I mean, that's the way it has to be. Otherwise, any little slip up can end your season.
Yeah, absolutely. You opened the season December 10th at the Bucyrus Invitational. Then the 17th, you had the pool invite here. You finished third. And you talk about some of those guys, 113-pound freshman Ryder Alberti, 138-pound junior Aiden Reyes, who's here, 120-pound freshman Grady Harding, who's here, 285-pound junior Alex Griffith, senior Broden Butcher, who's here, 126-pound senior Kidron Clark, 144-pound sophomore Arias Swaim, 150-pound senior Ryder McCabe, 126-pound freshman Sam Evans, and 215-pound sophomore Luke Garvin all placed. And then on to the Medina invite where you finished 9 out of 40 teams. That's pretty good showing.
Yeah,
you had to beat that's top 25%. Again, junior heavyweight Alex Griffith finished as the runner-up at 285, went 4-1, losing to Todd Allen, as you mentioned, from Medina Buckeye. Freshman Grady Harding here tonight won 6 straight matches after dropping the first and finishing at third at 120. Aiden Reyes, also here, junior, finished fourth at 138 with a record of 4-2, and Broden Butcher, also here tonight, 4-2 to pick up a fifth place finish at 157. And again, freshman Ryder Alberti, 4-2 to finish seventh at 113. Got to be happy with that at a meet like that.
Absolutely. We were talking, me, my brother, and I, and the other coach, Eric Trukovich. We're like, this first time at a big tournament like this year, and they treat it like it's just another tournament, which is awesome. I mean, sometimes in big atmospheres like that, they get a little nervous, and I thought they wrestled really well and wrestled both days really well, which I was super excited about. I was very happy with the performance. They all battled really hard, and I mean, they won the matches they could win, and I mean, there's going to be matches you're not going to be able to win sometimes, and they I mean, they pulled off a couple of them that I thought were toss-ups too. So
Yeah, good to hear that. Let's take a break before we talk to the young men around the table. We're brought to you in part by Lee Plymouth and Brad Seibert at the Plymouth Insurance Group at Galion and Bucyrus, North Central State College, Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center, North Walnut Street, across from the courthouse in Bucyrus. Phil and Sue Schreck at Phil's Deli, just east of the Pizza at the Bridge in Galion. John Rolls at John's Auto Repair Specialist, 800 Scott Street in Crestline. First up, it is Broden Butcher and the senior, and all three of these are captains of the team this year. So first and foremost, congratulations on getting to wear the C or carrying that. That means a lot. That shows a lot. You're at 157, Broden, and your last year wrestling, and must be comfortable at that weight. Have you always kind of stayed right around that weight, or?
No, I was 113 freshman year.
Okay.
And then I bumped 26, and then 44, and now I'm up to 57.
Okay, you happy early on with that? You feel comfortable? You feel in control at that weight? Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. And a really nice finish at Buckeye with so many teams. That's crazy.
That was a lot of teams, yeah.
Do you enjoy those bigger tournaments, or do you like a more of a smaller crowd?
Well, the bigger tournaments are more fun, more of a challenge. You can do a lot more stuff.
Yeah. Is it hard to believe that your last year has begun and you're moving towards it?
It's really hard to believe. But I really wanted the season to start because I love wrestling and everything it teaches me.
Yeah, and talk about some of those things that it teaches you.
Oh, yeah. Lots of discipline, doing stuff you don't want to do, even though you have to.
Yeah, wrestling's one of those sports, and no sport is really what I would say easy per se, but you talk about discipline, whether it's managing weight, controlling weight. It's hard, it's physical. I mean, I've not been a wrestler, but I've seen enough of it. It's taxing on the body, it's taxing on the mind. Is it hard to get through those days where I'm just not feeling it? You get there at practice, I'm just not feeling it today.
Yeah, but you just got to keep thinking of that end result. You got to keep going for it. You can't stop. If you stop, you're not going to make it.
So as you're going through the rest of your year, certainly you have eyes on the MOAC, but you want to go deeper than you did last year in the tournament for your senior year, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Who do you see kind of maybe as your stiffest competition and kind of looking ahead a little bit? Maybe individuals or a team or somebody that you really want to face again and get
I'd like to wrestle Metzger from Ashland. That would be a nice free match to get. Yeah. I'm going to wrestle him this weekend.
Good. At the Gorman.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, good luck. Enjoy your senior year, and best of luck to you. I hope you get really far.
Thank you.
You bet. Next up, Grady Harding is a freshman and a captain as a freshman. Before we went on the air, folks, I said, what? He's a freshman captain? So congratulations to you. But you've had some really nice opportunities already. 6 straight matches after dropping your first when you were at Medina Invite right after the holidays, 120 pounds and finishing 3rd total out of all those guys. Was that something you even expected to happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's all mental. Like, it's happened before. You just can't think about it. You just gotta do it.
When you lost that first one, what was your mindset to say, I got to pick it up and get back in the game because I'm not settling for what just happened?
Forget about it. Like, it's in the past. We're gonna watch it, review it, see what's going on, and then just keep pushing forward.
In a loss like that, what are some things that you can learn with the help of your coaches to improve, because you got to have a short memory. In wrestling, it's not like, well, I'll wait till the next match or something. In an invite like that, you got to get right back up and get after it. What did you learn really quickly about that situation with the help of your coaches?
Just keep keeping on, like pushing and just wrestling my match and wrestle I wrestle, stay calm.
Now you've wrestled. Coach said you wrestled at the junior high level, but did you mention nationally as well? So talk a little bit about that, your background, and you're seeing some really good competition at a very young age.
Helps with a lot of big tournaments like these. It just doesn't make you nervous. You just got to keep that in mind and just know what you're there for.
Well, the Gorman coming up this weekend is a very, very well-known wrestling tournament in this part of the country. There's going to be a ton of talent there. And it doesn't bother you at all to be in those bright lights? Does it really kind of just juice you up a little bit and say, let's get after it?
Right, that's basically it, yeah.
Yeah, make a name for yourself, and people are going to remember your name for sure.
Yes.
Very good. Well, continued success. Enjoy the season, and congratulations on your early success. I appreciate it. Aiden Reyes is a junior, and welcome. I'm glad you could come today, and you are sitting at 138 pounds.
Correct.
and finished 4th at the Medina Invite with a record of 4-2. Have your teammates, your coaches, your fans, have they seen you wrestle your best yet?
I mean, I feel like there's always more room for improvement, no matter what, if you're doing your best. So I feel like there's always room for improvement.
Wrestling is kind of a unique sport from my perspective in that it's so physical, but there is that mental side of it as well.
Right.
It's not only getting the correct positioning, getting the, and I'm going to use the term grab, but that's not really the move, I guess is what I want to say, but you also kind of have to think a step ahead a little bit of, okay, if I do this, he's going to do this, what do I have to do after that? When you're out there in the middle of that match, are you really thinking more on the mental side, or is it just let your physical abilities take over?
I mean, it's kind of like a mix of both. I mean, you kind of use both to your advantage. I mean, you kind of shoot for what's open, try to set up your stuff, wrestle your match, and then it'll play out right there.
So when you're watching your opponent, could see him in another, you're kind of keeping an eye on, okay, he likes to do this move, or,
Yeah.
okay, and then how am I going to counter that?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so who are you looking forward to wrestling the most this weekend at the Gorman?
Well, this weekend I'll have a rematch with Campbell. He's from Northmore.
Okay.
Yeah, I get a rematch with him, and hopefully I can bounce back.
Yeah, right down the road.
Right.
That's kind of neat. Are you guys friends when it's not the competition? I mean, do you talk?
Oh, yeah, we kind of grew up together. We were once teammates, club, school. So, yeah, I respect him. He's a good kid. He's an athlete.
That's what makes it fun. It's got
Right,
to be.
yep.
Yeah, very, very good. Well, enjoy it. Have a good time with it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out tonight. I certainly appreciate that. We're going to take another break before we finish up with Coach here. We're brought to you in part by Steve Kurtzman Associates at Innovative Recycling, 352 South Street in Galion. Coach Tim Plumley at Mohican Sports Medicine in Bucyrus, John Cross at Cross Carpet and Custom Floors, 302 North Seltzer Street in downtown Crestline. And Coach, as we mentioned, the aforementioned J.C. Gorman, how many years has that been going on now?
I think this is the 59th one,
Is
I
that,
think.
that's older than
I
me.
think. Yeah.
Not by much.
If I remember right, something like that. It's in the mid-50s, upper 50s, yeah.
And in the coaching realm, is that viewed as one of the best tournaments in the nation?
It's the best tournament in our area for sure.
Maybe Midwest or the Midwest here?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good tournament. It's a good tournament. There's 40-ish teams there as well. And I mean, you get the best of all the area schools there, which is nice.
Yeah.
And you get some other schools that come in from Cleveland area, from down in Columbus area too. So I mean, it's a good mix. It's a good tournament. If we can win, if you win the Gorman, you're probably going to be state qualifier-ish type person.
Pretty prestigious then. And I would think doing it that many years, the folks over there know what they're doing. They know how to run a tournament really,
Yeah.
really well.
They do a good job.
Then you're going to be heading up to Clay High School in Oregon up by Toledo.
Yep.
Friday the 13th, Saturday the 14th at the Maumee Big Classic. Similar in number of teams or just kind of different teams? Or?
That's a bigger tournament. That's 50-plus teams there. It's the real deal tournament there. We have a lot of the really high-level D1 schools there, along with the D2 and D3 schools that are really good. So we went there last year. I think we came away with only one placer, but it was a great experience for us. We had to wrestle really good competition. So that's why I keep going there. We have a duel the 10th before that, too. We go to Bishop Watterson High School.
Yeah, I did see that on the
So
schedule.
that'd be a good one for us as well. They're ranked pretty high in the state. And they have some good young kids too, so it should be a good one.
Well, you're certainly not shying away from competition, and what you're doing is preparing your young people to do well in the postseason,
Sure.
and that's a good thing. That's a good approach. Wrestling, I think there's probably something, we're so used to seeing big crowds at basketball games and things along that lines, and maybe not as many people go to a wrestling meet, but what could you share with people out there to say, this is what you'll see at a wrestling meet and why they should go and support that?
If you're first time going to wrestling meet, you're going to be surprised at what you see. Going to be a lot of intensity, a lot of yelling, parents get crazy. It's a good time. It's a lot different than your team sport because there's only one person from each team wrestling at the same time. So if you'd come to a dual meet, which I think is a lot of fun, like we went to Jonathan Alder last week? I think it was last week or the week before, and that was a great atmosphere. We had a good following. Jonathan Alder had a great following, and we had high school and middle school wrestling together. I mean, a lot of noise. I mean, it was exciting. So anytime something big happens, you get a big roar, and I mean, it's exciting.
Good. Well, and if you want to follow your wrestling team, you do a great job on Facebook with your own Galion Tiger Wrestling Facebook group, and you do a great job of promoting and talking about the kids, giving them props and pictures and things like that. So it's a great way to follow as well.
Yeah.
That's how I got a lot of my information, and I always enjoy looking at that. Well, guys, good luck. Thanks for coming out. We may try to sneak in closer to the end of the season, right before you get ready to go to tournament, catch up with maybe some other kids and see how they're doing. But enjoy this weekend. Keep doing what you're doing. Fight hard, stay healthy, and most of all, have a great time. Hey, I appreciate you coming
Thanks
out
for
very
having
much.
us.
We'll take a break here. We're going to come back with Ryan Stover and the boys basketball team right after this break.